Good evening and welcome to tonight's Board of Commissioners meeting, this May 28th, 2024. I'm pleased that we have Reverend James Henault of Catholic Church of St. Anne with us tonight. He will be providing our invocation. It will be followed by the pledge, which will be brought by Battalion Chief Jeremiah Lewis of Station 14 A Shift. For those of you willing and able, please rise for our invocation and pledge.
Loving God, Creator, Father, Inspirer, send your gracious blessings upon the members of this commission. Help them to wisely decide what is best for our county and for the people of Cobb. Guide them always in their life and guide us all in your prosperity, in your generosity, in your wisdom. We make this prayer, O loving God. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Reverend Henault and Chief Lewis. Our meeting is now called to order. We have a number of presentations on today's agenda. The first will be brought by our County Manager and Commissioner Gambrill.
Good evening, everyone. How you doing? Good, awesome. Madam Chair, Commissioners, I'd like to take a point of privilege here and congratulate all of the moms and dads who got their kids through the school year this year. Woo! And for all of our students as well. So Commissioner Gambrill and I, and Brittany Lee and 4-H, if you all would make your way up, we would also like to congratulate and to recognize some of the students of our 4-H program. So as we finish out the school year, congratulations, Cobb 4-H, for kicking off the 2024 4-H summer activities under the direction of our very own Ms. Brittany Lee, Chloe Patterson, and all of our 4-H agents. We recognize the 3 4-H teams that competed and represented Cobb at national contests this semester in Hipology, Life Smarts, and Skillathon. The Life Smarts team, which is the one we want to recognize first, competed at the 2024 National Life Smarts Contest in San Diego, California, and placed 8th in the nation. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. So what is Life Smarts? Life Smarts, the nation's premier consumer program, provides real-world education for students who learn about core consumer topics and develop critical thinking skills. These certificates of achievements go to our Life Smart members today, and they are, and I'm going to ask Ms. Brittany if she would help me with this. There you go. I'll give you those, and I'll hold the mic for you. And the first one goes to...
This first one goes to Miss Emma Bayer. Next, Kyle Backish. Harith Jayavel. And Emmy McElroy.
The Hipology team competed at the 2024 Western National Roundup in Denver, Colorado, and placed 3rd in the nation. The primary objective of Hipology contest is to provide a friendly yet competitive setting for 4-H youth to showcase their knowledge and understanding of equine science and management. Horse judging requires contestants to compare their opinions of a horse against the ideal as specified by industry experts in conformation and performance classes. The certificate of achievements go to the Hippology team members of,
We have we have Miss Savannah Bryant, Karma Kilfoyle, and our third team member couldn't be here tonight is Ansley Scheiblower, and their coach is right here taking a picture, Miss Carrie Bayer. And our Life Smarts coaches are Colleen Backish right here and Kathleen McElroy.
and lastly, the Skillathon team competed at the 2024 FCS Classic in San Antonio, Texas. The team was named the national champions in the life skills assessment portion of the contest. They were 6th overall in the nation. Skillathon is a contest that covers skills and knowledge gained by participating in all aspects of the Family Consumer Science Project. So the certificate of achievement.
Okay. There are 2 that are here tonight. The other 2 had other obligations. Shabun Babwe, he is not here. He is at a Georgia officer training. But we can give him a round of applause. And we have Riddhi Maheshwari. She's just finished her first year at Mercer. Prayushi Padi. And Matili Shaw could not be here with us tonight, but I did want to recognize her as well. Miss Kathleen McElroy served as a coach alongside me. And I'd also like to introduce our 4-H agent, Miss Chloe Patterson.
Hello, everyone. We are so proud of all of these amazing individuals and how far they have traveled to accomplish what they have. We are so proud of them, and thank you all for all of your hard work.
Some of y'all come over here. We'll let Dr. Morrison and Commissioner Gamble be in the middle. You be in the middle on the end.
There we go. Right side up, very good. Good side, right side up. Here we go, everybody, in 3, 2, and 1. Thank you.
Hold up, we got arms.
Okay, may those associated with our next presentation as part of Older Americans Month please join the commissioner up front.
It is with great honor that I give this proclamation. Whereas May is National Older Americans Month, a time to recognize the extraordinary contributions senior adults have made to our country and community. According to the 2020 census, about 1 in 6 people in the United States are age 65 and older. Whereas the theme for Older Americans Month in 2024 is Powered by Connection, highlighting the essential role meaningful social connections play in promoting the well-being of adult seniors, and whereas strong social connections alleviate social isolation and loneliness. These connections contribute significantly to the mental and physical health of older adults, allowing them to thrive and remain active. The National Institute on Aging cites research demonstrating senior adults are less likely to become ill, are happier, and have a longer lifespan. And whereas Cobb County Senior Services fosters a supportive environment for older adults through numerous programs and services designed to support and help them maintain healthy, happy, independent, and fulfilling lives. Now, therefore, we, the Cobb County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim May 2024 as Older Americans Month. We call upon residents to join us in recognizing the contributions of our senior adult community and promoting programs that foster connection, socialization, and support. This is the 28th day of May 2024.
Thank you so much.
So I wanted to first of all thank Commissioner Gambrill for bringing this forth, and thank you to the entire board for recognizing May as Older Americans Month. And really and truly, for senior services, we are all about celebrating aging and celebrating those connections that we make every day and bringing joy to the aging process. So thank you so very much for giving us the opportunity to highlight the impact that we are able to make by providing opportunities for everyone to make those important relationships and make those social connections. Because as you said, they have such an important, bring such importance to our health and well-being in general. So thank you so much.
Those who are here for our next presentation to honor Mount Zion Church, please join our commissioner up front.
Thank you. Bring it in. We can continue the celebration here. Fantastic. Good to see you again. And we can, Councilwoman, come stand over here, please. Thank you. Yes, so an example of partnering with our cities and celebrating moments of achievement. So this is a proclamation recognizing Mount Zion. Nice to see you, Pastor. So I will read this, but just want to say I had the wonderful opportunity to worship with everyone, not last Sunday, but the Sunday before. And we actually celebrated the actual anniversary and presented the proclamation there. And what a wonderful, wonderful worship service. It was, you can tell why it's been there for 147 years. Yeah. I think I was sharing, if these walls could talk. Okay. So the proclamation was, whereas Mount Zion First Baptist Church was founded in 1877 to serve the growing African American population, establishing its roots off Hawthorne Avenue on the east side of Smyrna. It stands proudly as one of Cobb County's oldest predominantly Black congregations. It was placed next to a historic cemetery honoring former slaves and faithful parishioners. The Reverend George Lloyd and his co-workers organized the church, while the Reverend Harper Hines served as the founding pastor. And whereas in 1949, the Reverend Henry Davenport oversaw the church's relocation to 2642 Hawthorne Avenue. And during his 50 years of leadership, he played a pivotal role in growing the congregation, presiding over ordinations, baptisms, and actively participating in the Kennesaw Baptist Association. And whereas in the years following, progress continued in the church with renovations, additional Sunday school classes, youth departments, choirs, and a newly established van ministry. The church celebrated 100 years of worship and outreach for the community in 1977, followed by its 100th anniversary. And whereas, under the guidance of Reverend Tyler R. Cook, Mount Zion First Baptist Church has brought together a vibrant community, welcoming hundreds of people to engage in praise and worship each weekend. And therefore, we, the Cobb County Board of Commissioners, do hereby recognize Mount Zion First Baptist Church for its deep historical significance and serving as a beacon of light in the community since it was founded 147 years ago. And this was, in the past, 19th day of May, 2024. So congratulations on that. And certainly want to open up for, if you would like to give some commentary, and then we have our councilwoman from Smyrna City Council here as well, and other very devout members of the church. So, you first.
For Mount Zion Baptist Church, I'm the oldest member on the Bedford side, and the oldest member as a male at Mount Zion. And my sister is the oldest female at Mount Zion. She's not here tonight, but she got under the weather. But we thank each and every one what they have did for Mount Zion down through the years. Reverend Davenport was my great uncle, and he served there over 50-some years. And thank God we're still going on in that little community right there in Smyrna, where we have been there for 147 years. I ain't been there that long, but I've been there all my life, which is 82 years old. And I thank God for that. I was brought up in there. And I ask y'all to keep continuing to pray for Mount Zion and all the members there at this time.
I'm going to try to speak a little bit. I haven't been able to speak in the last 3 weeks, but I am grateful to also have this opportunity because I'm glad to know that I do pastor one of the most historical churches in the city of Smyrna. I am one of the youngest pastors that's ever been installed at the age of 33. As of a couple of more weeks, I'll be 34 in a couple of Sundays. But we thank God for that because I can see longevity with myself at Mount Zion. And, you know, with the history of the pastors at Mount Zion, I only made the 7th out of 147 years. And so that just lets you know from the time before me, these pastors that's been here 30 plus years. And so I'm just looking forward to more years to come, more work with the city, more work with the county. I'm a Cobb County native. I'm born and raised, Powder Springs, Georgia, South Cobb High School graduate. And so I'm Cobb County bred. And when I die, I'll be Cobb County dead. I'm good.
So always coming here to Cobb County is coming home for me because of my roots. And thank you so much, Commissioner Richardson, for acknowledging this church and especially that historic area in the city of Smyrna. We're very thankful.
Yes, and before I put this down, just one other comment. If anyone's interested in the deeper history of this church and all of its different pieces, I do know that Smyrna had also included it in their book about Smyrna's history, and so certainly I encourage you to indulge. Thank you.
Okay. Next up, I'd like to call down those who are part of designating June 3rd as Management Week in Cobb County.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. We have Michelle Lewis with us from Lockheed Martin. And I'm going to read this to you. Lockheed Martin Leadership Association, a chapter of the National Management Association, joins chapters across the state in sponsoring June 3rd through the 7th as Management Week. And whereas with over 8,000 members, the National Management Association is the largest nonprofit organization of its type. Members of the association include businesses as well as industry and organizations in the public sector. Its mission is developing and recognizing management as a profession and promoting our American competitive enterprise system is this organization's stated objectives. And whereas Lockheed Martin Aeronautics Company has more than 1,000 members, its leaders and members provide management and leadership development opportunities and related chapter activities. Now, therefore, we, the Cobb County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim June 3rd through the 7th, 2024, as Management Week in Cobb County and encourage all residents to actively participate in the observance of this occasion. This is the 28th day of May, 2024. I'd also like to ask all the managers in the audience from Cobb County government or other private businesses to please stand, and we'd like to recognize you as well. You want to say a few words?
Thank you, Commissioner Burrow, and the entire Board of Commissioners. I really, on behalf of Lockheed Martin Leadership Association, we really do appreciate the first week of June being Management Week in America, Management Week in Georgia, to recognize all of the leaders and all of the managers, whether you're a manager in a business or you're a leader in an association. Thank you, and thank you for the emphasis on the role that leaders and managers play in society. So thank you.
Thank you. It's an honor.
Next, we'll have those who are a part of Circles Cobb presentation. Please join the commissioner up front.
Come on down, come on down. How you guys doing? It's good to see you again, yes. Hey, how are you? Okay, so tonight's presentation acknowledges the graduates of Circles Cobb first cohort for becoming Circle leaders. They're the first graduating class. The mission of Circle Cobb is to build a community to end poverty through intentional friendships, personal transformation, and systemic change led by the people closest to the challenge. Circles Cobb connects local, under-resourced families with a circle of support, walking alongside them through a very intentional 2-year program that empowers them to achieve their goals, to move from striving to thriving. Each family is matched with 2 or 3 volunteers who walk alongside them on their road to financial stability, sharing encouragement, connections, and accountability. Data from 80-plus Circle chapters throughout North America demonstrates that families who stick with the program increase their income by 75% on average. I want to individually congratulate these ladies on their achievements since graduating from Circles Cobb. And I will call each of you for your certificate and just share a couple of bullet points of your accomplishments. And the first is for Shakoya Kamzel. Ms. Shakoya, she created and stuck to a budget and savings plan, promoted and received a raise at work, and saved money by planning meals and eating out less. I need to take a lesson from you on that. Okay, the second is Latoya Pine. Is she here? There you are. And Ms. Latoya initiated a monthly savings strategy that resulted in the savings of $600 in monthly rent. That's impressive. The next is Misha Jackson. Here you are. Misha increased her income by 20%. Her business is now licensed and bonded. She's a cleaning business that she was able to secure through the Circles loan. Her business grew due to the Circles referrals. Congratulations to you. The next is Nikki Cotton, right there. Hey, Nikki. Okay. And Ms. Cotton she has a projected 30% increase in her income by August of 2024. She gained confidence as a leader, and she persevered through all of this through a stroke. So you hung in there. That's very impressive. Wow. That's what determination looks like. That's what determination looks like. Okay. Sarah Hawkins. So Sarah Hawkins advocated for and received a raise. She interviewed for a higher paying job, and she persevered through family issues while in the program. Congratulations to you. Candia Randolph. She's not here? Okay. All right, and the next person is Essence Johnson. She's not here either. Okay. All right, fantastic. Well, I will just share their accomplishments just in case they want to go back. And so Ms. Candy Randolph, she started a monthly savings plan. She increased her income by 4% through the Circle strategy, and she progressed on a SMART goal. And Essence Johnson, she maintained a budget and practiced minimalism. She persevered with Circles during pregnancy and birth. I believe she had a little girl. And she attended weekly learning sessions with children. Congratulations to them as well. And we have here some board members, some District 4 people that I recognize too, so I'll just hand you the mic and you can just go down the line.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Sheffield. We really appreciate your support and for all of the Board of Commissioners. Thank you so much. So we have, I'm Barbara Garner, the Executive Director. This is Holly Tuckman, our Board Chair. Keelan Mitchell, our Coach. Lori Phillips, who's a board member as well as an ally. And Elliot Hennington, please forgive me. So we are so honored to be here, and I just wanted to thank and congratulate and say how proud we are of each of you ladies. You've done an amazing job. Congratulations.
Ross, do we need to slide?
Yeah, just a little bit that way. Look at you guys. All right, here we go. Three, two. Action, thank you.
All right, thank you. And last but not least, I'd like to call up our 2024 graduating class of youth commissioners. Good evening. It is my pleasure to introduce this wonderful class of high school freshmen through juniors that have participated in about a year-long program to learn about local government so that they can become more knowledgeable about the services that we provide and also become leaders in their communities as they become agents of being able to share the things that they've learned to help those around them. We are just thrilled that they stuck with us, and we hope to continue serving with them as we all serve, understanding that our youth are not only our future leaders, but they are our leaders, and they give us a lot of hope for what Cobb County not only is today, but will continue to be. But before I recognize them, I want to also recognize Brittany Lee of Cobb Extension. I think when she accepted her position, Youth Commission was not in the job description, but she has taken this program by storm and made it all that it has become. And just listening to the young people tonight just lets me know just how special your imprint has been on their experience in raising our young leaders of Cobb County. So without further ado, we would like to present to you your certificates for tonight. Each one of them state congratulations on your graduation from the 2023-2024 class of the Cobb Youth Commission. We look forward to your continued participation in community affairs and ongoing excellence in the future. This, the 28th day of May 2024. So with that, Brittany, I'm going to have you help me in calling out these names, and I will pass you the certificate.
That sounds good. All right, Apala Banerjee. Let's see, Tony Alexander. Okay, Anthony Brantley. Mary Chandler. Amaya Cooper. All right, Dennis Grice. Evie Hanover. Leah Hurd. I don't think she was here tonight. Oh, yep. All right. Michael Johnson. Andrea Joya. Justin Martinez Posadas. Connor O'Farrell. Takena Owari. Prayushi Padi. Moshe Ponce. Gabrielle Thomas. Miles Stewart. Ania Rajakobalan. All right, and Tanya Titu. Congratulations to the Youth Commission class.
That's it, right?
You might have to give them a minute.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
I'm going to give this to Pam.
Sure, go right ahead. This is my sheet.
That's getting her going places.
Yes, they are. We just took a 2-minute break. Okay, for those standing up at the back of the room, we're getting ready to resume our meeting. All right. That concludes our presentation portion of tonight's meeting. We are now at our first public comment, and I'll turn things over to our county attorney, Bill Rowland.
Thank you, Chairwoman. As the board provides the podium for public comment, it's appropriate to review the related meeting rules. Please state your name, and if you are speaking on behalf of an organization, all comments should be made to the commission as a body and addressed through the chair. Public comment is not a dialogue with the board, but an opportunity for the speakers to provide their comments to the board. Comments should not be slanderous, but the board encourages, regardless of the topic, for the audience to be respectful and courteous to all speakers. Everyone attending this meeting should give others the right to both listen and to be heard by treating each other with civility. Statements made during the public comments portion do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the board or the administration of Cobb County government. There is a timer on the podium to keep track of your 3 minutes. The first public speaker is Jan Barton.
Hi, I'm Jan Barton. I have 3 topics to discuss tonight. Number 1, please cease and desist your attacks on our free speech. I'm wearing this hat, Make Speech Free Again, because not only did the majority of this Board of Commissioners vote to reduce our speaking time from 5 minutes to 3, but you have given authority to your Director of Communications, an unelected bureaucrat, to prevent our use of audiovisual aids like charts, graphs, and PowerPoint in public comment. This is unconstitutional. Restore the ability to use AV. All of you are allowed such tools. We should be also. The Mama Bears of Forsyth County won a lawsuit against such shenanigans by local government. Make speech free again. Number 2, we ask you to follow Georgia law and declare the Lower Roswell Road project slated for the June agenda as infeasible. The majority of the community, as well as business owners along that corridor, are strongly opposed to this unnecessary project. Former Commissioner Bob Ott did not do this in a past due project in his 12 years. The county does not have a current traffic study, nor does the county have details regarding the so-called crash data. We have repeatedly asked for details, but the county does not have them. How can you say this is for safety with no data? This expensive project makes our community less safe, harms businesses and neighborhoods in over 2 years construction and the permanent bottleneck. This is an example of what you have on tonight's agenda. Remove item 18 from consent agenda to approve the Department of Transportation traffic calming policy. Traffic calming is a road diet. This sneaky behind closed doors policy is not ready for a vote. The public deserves the right to provide feedback. This policy gives the county the right to, without justification and without citizen feedback, put many of our roads on road diets, making traffic worse and allegedly trying to force people out of their cars and onto your wasteful proposed 30-year transit tax for archaic buses and transfer centers when there are modern solutions for door-to-door delivery for the people who really need help with transportation at a far lower price. Number 3, triple tax Cupid. The budget needs to be greatly reduced and the millage rate rolled back to provide tax relief to all hurting families. You must start using priority budgeting rather than reactive spending for unjustified items such as oversized horses, their care and feeding, your expensive soiree, and other items never planned ahead of time. Roll back the millage, reduce taxes, cut spending.
The next public speaker is Donna Court.
Good evening. My name is Donna Court, and I am a very joyful member of Cobb County District 2, Commissioner Jerica Richardson, Chairwoman Cupid, Commissioners, and Dr. McMorris. My topic for tonight is elections. And I wish to congratulate our Board of Elections, Director Tate Fall, and all of her staff and the many people, permanent and part-time assistants who worked on that day. I know many people in this room volunteered on that day to assist in the elections. I would also like to congratulate our current Board of Commission members who are continuing to the fall general election. And the election had integrity and was very clean. Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger spoke on WAB today and had nothing but lauds for all of the counties. And as we know, Cobb is always looked at very closely. To all the elected officials who will be leaving us at the end of this calendar year, thank you for your service. And very especially, I want to say thank you to DA Flynn Brody. He championed the Family Advocacy Center. He defined restorative justice. DA Brody did Cobb County proud by running the prosecution of the killers in the Ahmaud Arbery murder trial in Glynn County. He showed wisdom by assigning his top-notch assistant Linda Donikowski to prosecute the case. DA Brody did Cobb proud, but he also did Georgia proud. I had many friends across the USA that contacted me the day after the verdict came in on November 24th, 2021, to say, "Well done, Georgia." Recently, I was touched to learn that Ahmaud Arbery's mother, Miss Wanda Cooper Jones, remains a close friend of DA Brody, the mother of a murdered man remaining close to a DA. That speaks volumes on the caliber of the man. Thank you, DA Brody. Well done, faithful servant. Godspeed. And that's all I have to say. Thank you very much for all of your service. Thank you.
The next speaker is Christine Rosman.
Hello, Christine Rosman. So I wanted to say I thank you for the invite. I was, I guess it was to all Cobb County to go to your soiree from a couple of weeks ago, Chairwoman, and it was very nice. I've been in the hospitality business. I worked at a Marriott resort. I've worked at a country club, and it was really top-notch. And the carving stations and even the quality of the meat and the crab cakes and everything, it was very nice. And I was very impressed, but I was disappointed that it seemed like I knew a lot of people that tried to sign up for it, and they said it was booked, and but there were, I don't know, 75% of the seats were taken, but and there was a lot of those prime ribs left over. Anyway, the speakers were good. But I still have the problem with local government is supposed to be about public safety and about infrastructure and, you know, making sure that the 911, the police, the fire, and then the infrastructure of our roads and the sewer lines and sewage. So I don't understand why we play such a big part with the Chamber of Commerce, because it seems like Chamber of Commerce, their job is about building industry, and it seems like it's out of our purview, or not our, but out of the government's purview to be getting so involved in the private sector. The gentleman from the ARC was good, but it seems like, and if I'm not mistaken, I think you're either chair or vice chair of transportation for the Atlanta Regional Commission, and it seemed like he was kind of pushing that for, November, and then I noticed that you were, you talked about that too. All in all, it was an interesting night, but I did kind of walk away from, because it was a pretty swanky soiree, is that it must have been pretty expensive, like in my estimation, somewhere $20,000, $25,000. And I was disappointed that other people weren't able to make it. Also is the other thing too, is that okay, the Cobb taxpayers are paying for all this. We're paying for the AV, we're paying to have power, everything that the taxpayers pay for. I'm having a real hard time understanding why we can't use the AV. It is a conflict of interest, and frankly, I don't think it's Ross Cavett. You run a pretty tight ship. I don't think you would let Ross dictate to you how the constituents are allowed to present.
Mr. Ross, time's up. The next speaker is Jim Jess.
My name is Jim Jess. I am Chairman Emeritus and current Treasurer of Franklin Roundtable, a Marietta-based education and advocacy organization. I'm here tonight to oppose the mobility splost tax increase. It will make traffic worse. It doesn't seek to move people, just pays for more buses and causes more congestion. From the numbers we have access to, it appears that perhaps 1,500 people regularly ride the buses in Cobb County. That's based on the number of passenger trips per year from 2022, which was about 993,000. If you divide that number by 365 days per year, that breaks down to about 2,700 trips per day. And most of those are probably round trips. That's where I get the 1,500. We subsidize a bus system now with about $30 million per year, but you want to spend $11 billion over 30 years. Let's assume for a moment that 1% of our population of 700,000, that would be about 7,000 people, that they start riding this system. That's a huge increase. But if you want to move 7,000 people, you don't have to spend $11 billion. In fact, for that kind of money, you could give each one of these people, these 7,000 people, $52,380 each year for 30 years. In other words, you could hire each one of these riders a chauffeur in a limousine for 30 years. Or you could buy them a new Prius. Better yet, you can only spend $6.5 billion and buy them a new Prius every 2 years. Such a deal. The people don't like this MSPLOST. The people will vote this down if you put it on the ballot. We're ready and willing to fight this fight. Don't put this on the ballot. It is so extravagant and so wasteful, and it won't solve the problems that face us. But you may do this anyway. If you do, you might end your political careers. We're ready to fight this battle. Are you? Go ahead. Make our day.
The next speaker is Kathy Slaw.
Good evening, Board of Commissioners. I'm Kathy Slough. I live in Marietta, Georgia. It looks like 3 of our Board of Commissioners have wasted no time since the primary, pushing forward with the 3 notorious tax increases possibly. Looks like you're on a mission to raise property taxes. That vote is on July 23rd. Impose the rain tax in August and slap a new sales tax to buy those empty buses running around that each trip costs me as a taxpayer approximately $31 a day. You think this was a movie, but it's not. It's real. But there's more. You want to tear up Lower Roswell Road to widen sidewalks 10 feet wide, wasting my tax dollars and hurting businesses, rewriting the zoning code in secret, threatening our neighborhoods, and doing everything you can to push your agenda without our input. I live on Social Security and the few dollars I've saved. Here's what I'm doing to watch my budget. I drive a 99 Toyota Camry with 235,000 miles. My condo is 44 years old and the popcorn ceiling's fallen off that I can't afford to fix, so I just put it in a Ziploc bag. I leave my thermostat in the summer at 78 degrees. I reuse my coffee grounds the next day. I recycle my Ziploc bags. I wash my clothes in cold water. I do not have 100 channels or my TV. What Board of Commissioners are you doing to save us, your constituents, money? I looked up the salary. Our chairperson, Lisa Cupid, makes $140,582. $140,582. Each Board of Commissioners member makes $48,411. $48,411, and I just learned about an hour ago, our Cobb County manager got a bump up of approximately $50,000 to the tune of $400,000. $400,000. I've been on Social Security for 5 years. Does anybody here make $140,000? I don't. Does anybody here make $48,000? And I'm sure as heck do not make $400,000. Thank you for your time, and Commissioner Burrell, thank you for your speech yesterday at the cemetery.
Tracy Stevenson.
Hi, I'm Tracy Stevenson, and I want to follow up with a few things. Things that make me go, Just at the last tax increase, the stormwater fee increase hearing that was tabled, Ms. Cupid agreed to allow commissioners to appoint someone to the stockholder committee, to the stockholder groups. That question was asked by Ms. Burrell, and you agreed to it, Ms. Cupid. However, that changed. I immediately the next day tried to put my name in that hat. That changed, and it was handed over to Ms. McMorris. So I don't know how that got changed, but you did make that commitment, and I've got the time stamp to prove it, but I can't show it. All right, these are things that make you go, why did that change? Last month, the Barnes Group was denied their housing development. Magically enough, there was a private fundraiser held for Miss Cupid. Then, lo and behold, with all the stormwater issues that the neighbors brought up, now the Barnes Group has been approved. All right, now the M-SPLOST was proposed by the department to avoid the blockage by the 2 commissioners that would have blocked it. Things that make you go, And that was all done with an ambiguous change in the rules that y'all pushed through. And our beloved attorney here gave the description of why that worked that way. It was an initiative that was put forth by all the commissioners all the way along the line until it became the time to propose it. And then they couldn't block it because a department proposed it, not the commissioners. Things that make me go, So at the end of the day, transparency is what's talked about, but it's seldom seen. Thank you.
The next speaker is Maria Cooper.
Hi, everyone. I want to talk about 4 things.
Ma'am, if you would state your name, please.
Maria Cooper. Number 1, no zoning changes, secret or public. No zoning changes, secret or public. Cobb County has a quality of life that makes it very desirable. It has made it very desirable for years and years and years. The flora, the fauna, the greenery, good education, single-family homes, changing the code to take away from all that, you are literally killing the goose that laid the golden egg. So y'all need to stop that, whether it's public or secret. Zoning changes, no. Leave Cobb alone. Increase in property taxes, not necessary. How bet if you guys looked inwards to how the county is run, what every department does and doesn't do, et cetera, y'all could find plenty of money in waste, fraud, and corruption. So no increase in property taxes. I need to pay my bills. I need to live within a budget. I don't have, my money is limited. It's finite. It's not $100,000, $400,000. So, no. Number 3, no sales tax for the failing bus system. Y'all have been shown data. Y'all have been shown the proof. It is failing. It's a waste of money. My hard-earned tax dollars. Everyone's here. Hard-earned tax dollars. I don't have a silver spoon. I starved myself through college. No one paid my way through college. I worked so hard, I ended up with mononucleosis in the hospital for 2 weeks. So I starved myself through college, got my career, earned my money, and saved it. I don't need you guys now, with your power, taking it away and wasting it on stuff. And literally, you are wasting it on stuff. And finally, no rain tax, which y'all call a fee. It is a tax. Essentially, it is a tax. That is the job of government, infrastructure and management of stormwater drainage. That's an infrastructure, that's a government thing. That is not a private citizen thing. Y'all need to do better with that. Y'all need to fix it a different way.
Ms.
Be
Cooper,
more.
Ms. Cooper, your time's up. The next speaker is Denny Wilson.
Denny Wilson. You know, I woke up the morning after the election and I was mad. I mean, I was really mad. But I'm not mad with you guys anymore because people get the kind of government that they vote for. And the people in South Cobb spoke. So you know what I told them? When something happens to you, don't call me, because I'm not going to be your sounding board anymore. You have a chance to make a difference about how you vote, and they chose not to do so. But I will tell you going forth, I'm not going to be silenced, and I'm going to continue to call you guys out when you do things that are out of the realm of good government. This getting mad with the citizen and not speaking to the citizen, not returning emails, not returning phone calls, because you think you're under personal attack. If you are a representative and you put your name on that ballot to be elected, you are not above criticism. All people want is to live in their homes peacefully and not have to pay all of these high taxes that you guys are raining down on us. Everyone in my community got their tax bill, but me. So I decided, well, let me reach out to the tax assessor's office. Why haven't I got mine? I was told by them, yours was pulled. Well, why would you pull my tax bill of all the people? And I called the young lady, said, well, there's a code on here that I've never seen. So she gets me one of the tax advisors, and he comes in. They've changed the whole layout of my house. And I'm not accusing you guys of having anything to do with it, but I'm just saying, since I've been coming here complaining, they've changed my whole landscape of my house. And I've told you guys on numerous occasions, I have a stormwater issue where the water runs down and comes into my basement. I put 2 concrete slabs on each side of my house, pointing down with a drain at the end of each one of them, so that the tax assessor should have known when they came out there. That is not a patio. That is there to route the water away from my house. But now I'm having to pay for that. Even at my basement door, they have that as a patio, and it's probably about this wide. I can't even sit anything on it. So I'm not accusing you guys. I'm just telling you what they've done to raise my taxes. And if it's not retaliation, it darn sure looks like it.
The next speaker is Craig Harfoot.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name's Craig Harfoot. I sent you lots of stuff to read, and basically I want to say everything that Jan said I agree with, and but I even sent you more so you understand what's coming. Our economy's going to go implode. We've built a house of cards. I mean, when I ran for chair, the salary was $55,000. Sam said, I can't live on that, so he got the legislature to raise it. You also get money from the Water Authority, and they don't seem to understand that. And I think the commissioners made, I don't remember, it's like 15 to 20 in that range. And really, your salaries, well, the commissioners are part-time. They should be a whole lot less than they are. And the chair shouldn't be any higher than your police entry-level pay is. So you have a sense of what people got to live with. I mean, anybody can do your job, really. And the county manager, too. The trick is selling the Chamber of Commerce's agenda to the public and doing these dog and pony shows. Like all this award stuff, that's all election campaigning. We know what it is, but you packed the last agenda with so much stuff. When you're changing laws about free speech and stormwater and all this, every change should be on one meeting. And everybody can talk about that and hash it out. That's how you're going to get input. But when you load the thing and everybody keys on one thing and the rest all slips through, that's bad governance too. I mean, we don't want these meetings to go on 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, but we don't need an hour of awards. You can go to their clubhouses and each school and give them their awards. You don't have to burn up all our time here, and you can Let more people have 3 minutes. You could, you know, what you're going to see is people can't live on what you're paying. But you all can raise your salaries to make it comfortable for you. And that's just bad governance. So please, kill the 30-year SPLOST, do a 5, do it for stormwater. And for DOT, because that's where you got all the problems when I rode around. It's all the gutters that are collapsing. Thank you.
The next speaker is Lynn Barr.
Hi there, my name is Lynn Barr. Thank you for the opportunity to let me speak. I moved to Cobb County in 1980. I can't think of a nicer, better place to live. The current increases of taxes that you're talking about, now that I'm a senior citizen, is hurting people like me, your loyal Cobb County citizens who love living here, have lived here, have given back to our community, and I just want to express that to you, to please reconsider what you're doing, try to conserve your money, budget, as everybody here has talked about, and think about who you're hurting with this tax increase that you're doing. Thank you.
Chairwoman, that's the last of the public speakers.
Thank you, Bill. We are now on the consent agenda portion of our meeting. The consent agenda items have scrolled on the screen prior to the meeting and will scroll on the screen when the meeting concludes. The matters on consent are voted in bank. There are 2 items that have been revised in our consent agenda per earlier discussion. They include agenda items number 9 and agenda item number 26. Agenda item number 9 adds the clause that the positions associated with that grant will be terminated should the grant funds not be renewed. And the revision on agenda item 26 provides additional clarification on the appointments which were not listed. There was also email communication to provide some background regarding the appointments. Also in the public comment, there was a request to pull an agenda item off consent. See if I can find that. I'm not sure if they had the same number that was stated. Thank you. Okay, the traffic calming policy. We'll go ahead and just hear that after consent. Commissioners, do you have any other revisions to consent?
I just have a question about one of the revisions.
Okay.
I think Nick Adams is here. We may need to ask him. I thought we were going to list the 3 positions that are required by the state, but that we don't approve separately. But, and that one is the sheriff's appointee, correct? And one is the Cobb Douglas Public Health, and one is the
Community Service.
CSB Highland Rivers Board.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but on this revised sheet on the back, it says elected official appointments. But
Correct.
that's not us.
That is correct, yes, ma'am. That was other elected
Okay.
officials such as the sheriff and the
So
superior.
Highland Rivers is for us to approve, or is that one of the ones required by the state?
It is required by the state, but the way the previous agenda item was written, it still requires your approval. Both the Community Service Board
Nick, can you
and-
lean just a little bit closer to
Yes,
the
ma'am.
mic? Thank you.
I'm sorry. Yes, the way the previous agenda item was written, it still requires your approval for the Community Service Board and the Board of Health. While they have made a nomination, it was written that it would still require board approval to be to take effect.
So that does require this board approval?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Were you able to discuss with the other commissioners today? Any changes
I have not had
to
a
the
chance to.
appointments? Okay.
No.
He provided emails with backup. Do you have additional questions?
I thought there was going to be discussion on the Highland Rivers Board appointee.
I didn't get any additional feedback by email, but if that needs to happen, we can have that conversation. But the Community Service Board, they did nominate the person listed, Melanie Dallas.
Okay.
Okay. And would you desire this item to be pulled?
Well, I don't want it to be pulled because we need to form this task force before these, the applications can get started and the money dispersed. So, what's the consensus of the board? I thought that was one that we didn't appoint, that was required. So,
It was, the way we wrote it was that the Community Service Board would nominate a member, but it would still require board approval, Board of Commissioners approval to move forward.
okay. And then I thought you had a question too about others that had asked for consideration. But we were tasked with you bringing us these recommendations, and then we have to approve them. And I know you have gone through the process of vetting and whatever and given us the background. But then we did have some discussion on that at work session. And I know it's critical and it needs to be passed, but I don't want to, jeopardize anything if there's not a consensus on everyone. I'm okay with it. I just don't know if that's everybody's agreeable.
Okay.
I hear you. For something like this, it would be ideal if we were all confident in how this was moving forward, and I'm hearing from you there's not. I hear commissioners to my right questioning if you want to have it pulled. I don't think there's necessarily be opposition to it. I wish this would move forward with having greater support from all of us. And that would be my greatest interest, and I don't think we're there. I do know that there are also some compelling reasons to moving forward, but I think this was worth having greater discussion and buy-in prior to today. And it's not to take anything away from you, Nick. I know you've done a great job in reaching out to commissioners. We're just still fleshing this out.
Sure.
Based on those prior conversations. Good morning.
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand are we looking to pull this to regular, pull this all together? After receiving the emails, I didn't have any reservations. So, to make that known, if you're trying to figure out where everybody is.
I'm just going on information that I have received from others on the conflict.
Okay.
So I have a question for the county attorney.
Excuse me, the sign obstructed somebody's ability to walk through the aisle. Let's not hold items in the aisle, please. And there's also some discussion that's just getting loud enough to be just a bit distracting for those who are up here. Just ask you to be mindful of us deliberating this matter right now. Thank you. I'm sorry, Commissioner Granville.
So I have a question for the county attorney. For clarification for this agenda item, regarding the appointments, it only requires a 3/5 vote, correct? In order to pass, it does not require a 4/5 majority or a 5-0 vote to pass.
Correct.
Okay. And they're all voted on together as a committee, not separately. Okay. I'm ready to move forward.
That can be a request if you want some to the board and not others. I mean, it's our opportunity to deliberate it.
I'm agreeable to moving forward.
I'm sorry, I had trouble hearing that. Was there a question?
I'm agreeable to moving forward tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, are there any other questions on consent? All right, yes, Commissioner?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Are you making a motion?
I was
pass
preparing to make a
consent?
motion.
Okay, and then I'll make it.
Commissioners, I move that we approve the consent agenda as it has been revised.
Second.
Are there any comments or questions?
Yes. Madam Chair, I am opposed to item number 18 and 27.
Okay.
18's been pulled to regular. Okay, so 27.
Okay. 27 is for the MOU regarding cooling shelters.
Correct.
Yes, continuing from the funding we have for the warming shelters. And 18 is, okay, the traffic calming policy. Okay. Any other comment or question?
I've already given it to Pam. Yeah, and I've given my statement to the county clerk earlier.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion?
Put that in.
Call the question. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't see. Go ahead, Commissioner.
I'd like the clerk to record my statement that is found on page 176 of the printed agenda. And then I'd like to also note my opposition to item number 26, specifically post 2. And then also item number 27.
Okay, 26 again pertains to the Opioid Abatement Council. Post 2 pertains to Highland Rivers, and again, 27 has to deal with the cooling shelter. Commissioner Burrow, did you also have concern regarding post 2 for the opioid council?
No.
See it? Okay, just want to make sure. Are there any other comments or questions? All right, we'll call the question. The motion carries 5-0. We'll now go to agenda item 18, which pertains to the traffic calming policy.
Good evening, Chairwoman, Commissioners, County Manager. The department has presented this traffic calming policy as we routinely receive requests to address concern about speeding and other safety issues from communities. To address these concerns, the department has developed a traffic calming policy to assist with the review, recommendation, and implementation of traffic calming strategies. Therefore, the department recommends the Board of Commissioners approve the Department of Transportation traffic calming policy.
Okay. Commissioners, I move that we approve this agenda item as it has been presented.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
I just want to say I appreciate the leadership, this commentary. Appreciate the leadership that you and staff have taken on and having those discussions with the state as well. We have a lot of communities that have requested for increased set of options, and I think that this helps expand some of those opportunities for those communities that have specifically requested for traffic, for speeding to be attenuated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, are there any other comments or questions? Commissioner Gambrill.
Drew, I didn't see the change for the one spelling.
And that is my mistake. Is it?
We'll fix it. Okay, and just so the audience knows the question, it had to do under the removal and relocation process. Instead of for, it said from.
Yes, thank you.
So we're going to make that correction through the clerk. Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay,
Commissioner.
are there any other comments or questions? Commissioner Burrow.
Drew, I know we've had some discussions on this, but can you just explain how we're combining these and offering additional speed or calming devices?
Sure, I'd be glad to provide a little bit of context. So currently, there are two different policies associated with traffic calming, and that is speed humps and dynamic speed display signs. Those are the only two policies that we have the ability to utilize when someone does call with a concern or complaint about speeding in their neighborhood, and they're requesting some kind of transportation solution to that, recognizing some of the challenges of continued enforcement that would be required in order to drive those speeds down. In looking at a number of different resources, including the Institute of Transportation Engineers, the Federal Highway Traffic Calming Toolbox, and many other resources, including traffic calming policies across the country, what we were able to determine is there's a bevy of additional tools that can go into that toolbox. So what this policy does is it makes those tools available. It continues to utilize the petition process that is available today for the two policies that I referenced earlier, still requiring for those citizen-led requests for traffic calming that 65% threshold and Board of Commissioner approval for whatever that method is. Additionally, lowered the bar in terms of the speed limit constraint. Currently, a neighborhood that is a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit requires that the prevailing speed, or the 85th percentile speed, the speed at which 85% of vehicles are at or below, be 35 miles an hour, so significantly above that speed limit, 10 miles an hour over. So what this policy does is it drops that limit to 32 miles an hour. That once speed crosses that threshold, it is then eligible to go through the petition process. And again, any of these traffic calming measures prior to implementation would require funding and approval by the Board of Commissioners before those can be installed, and then pursuant to the petition process, which would then cause that item to be brought forward to the Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, but this doesn't give us any discretionary power to just do something. They have to meet all the requirements, and then it would come back to us for approval, but upon the request from the neighborhood or subdivision.
That's right.
Or the area.
There is eligibility criteria, which relates to the speed limit, the prevailing speed, the length, the type of roadway, and then ultimately, once it passes all of those thresholds, those barrier to entry, it then has to pass that 65% petition threshold. Mm-hmm. Once it meets that, then it becomes an agenda item brought before the Board of Commissioners for your consideration of, again, both the funding and then the general approval of that countermeasure before it can be installed by the department.
Okay, and then once they meet the requirements, then it will come back to us from the request and then meeting all the requirements. But how will we determine where the funding's coming from if it's not in SPLOST or in your budget?
Certainly, and that is an item that was considered as part of this, so recognizing the capital costs associated with any of these measures. In the analysis process, this is page 5 of the policy, there includes a schedule, and so this is based on previous requests that we would have received. Data would be collected between January and May. That data would then be analyzed by department staff that would determine the appropriate countermeasure to address the speed, should it meet that speed threshold. And then in August through October, we would coordinate with the community to say, here's what the department recommends. Does this match what you think would work in your community, understanding that they know their community better than we ever could. That petition process then again has those 3 months to proceed. And then in November and December, Any that meet all of these thresholds would be included in the department's budget. So there would be both, again, that budgetary requirement that the board would have to provide those fundings, as well as the approval of those specific countermeasures.
Okay.
Thank you. And just to be very specific on the 65% petition threshold, who's signing those petitions as a part of the request?
Those are either all members of the HOA, or for those neighborhoods that do not have HOAs, it would be within the affected areas.
Thank you.
65%.
65%.
How are you measuring the affected areas?
Again, with an HOA, it's pretty clear. It's the neighborhood. But generally, our traffic engineers take a look at the map of that neighborhood, look at which roads have been requested, and try to address anyone that has to access that roadway to get to their home, to get to or from their home, and that becomes that affected area.
Okay. And similar to the streetlight district, would we provide a list of, I guess, homes for the petitioner to seek signatures?
We would provide that with that point of contact. We would provide that map of the affected area.
Okay, thanks.
So really, we do that now. That's our policy now, that it has to
That's
come back
correct.
here.
That's correct. This just provides additional tools in that toolbox, and then adjusts some of those speed thresholds.
Are there any other comments or questions? Call the question. The motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Drew.
We'll now go to agenda item number 35. Dr. McMorris, will you present this item?
Good evening again, Chairwoman, Commissioners. It is with great pleasure that I recommend to you the appointment of Andrew Yakumovic as our Property Management Director. Mr. Yakumovic joined the county as our Deputy Property Management Director in October of 2022. He has served as the interim manager since January 6th during the retirement of our previous property manager. He has done an outstanding job. And Andrew comes to us with a Bachelor's of Science in Engineering Technology. He is also a licensed State of Georgia professional engineer. He has over 20 years of experience managing and leading various types of property management projects. He comes to us directly from Kennesaw State University and has, again, a myriad of experience in education, I believe medical institutions, as well as the county now. The feedback from the initial interview committee, as well as feedback from the agency director, Ms. Sharon Stanley, and as well as my own interview with Andrew, gives me great pleasure to ask the board to consider my recommendation of Mr. Yakumovic as our next property management director.
Thank you, Dr. McMorris. Commissioners, I move that we do approve the appointment of our Property Management Director, Andrew Yakumovic.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Congratulations.
Thank you for stepping forward. With that, we'll call the question. The motion carries 5-0.
Congratulations.
Director Yakumovic, do you have a speech for us? No? You're okay? Okay.
I told him that came with the territory. Listen.
Just checking. All right, we are now at our ARPA tab, brought by our CFO, Bill Volkman.
Good evening, Chairwoman, Commissioners, County Manager. We have one item, and this is to approve the ARPA beneficiary grants to qualified hospitality and tourism organizations for employee retention. Cobb Travel and Tourism has been our partner in this program. They completed round one. The board has previously approved $20,000 to 15 subrecipients for a total of $300,000 in round one. At this point, Cobb Travel and Tourism has completed their second round and is recommending 2 additional organizations, and that is Adventure Air Sports of Kennesaw and the Georgia Dance Conservatory, to receive $20,000 each for a total of $40,000 of contributions. So at this time, I'm asking the Board of Commissioners approve round 2 ARPA beneficiary grants to qualified travel and tourism organizations in Cobb County, Georgia for employee retention support, authorize corresponding budget transactions, and authorize the chairwoman to execute the necessary documents.
Okay, so moved as presented.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Call the question. The
Thank you.
motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Bill. We are now on to our DOT tab.
Good evening again. The department has 5 items under the regular tab for your consideration tonight. Our first item is to recommend the Board of Commissioners approve a contract with Chatfield Contracting Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $295,743.03 for drainage system repairs on Wesley Way, project number B2281. Authorize the corresponding budget transactions and further authorize the chairwoman to execute the necessary documents.
Commissioner Sheffield.
So moved. Second.
Are there any comments or questions? Call the question. Did you have a comment?
No.
Oh, okay.
I thought I had already voted.
Okay, the motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. Our next item is to recommend the Board of Commissioners approve a contract with D&H Construction Company Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $317,820 for drainage system repairs on Autumn Leaves Lane, project number B2295. Authorize the corresponding budget transactions and further authorize the chairwoman to execute the necessary documents.
Commissioner Burrow.
Motion to approve.
Second. Are there any comments or questions? Call the question. The motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Our next item is to recommend the Board of Commissioners approve a contract with D&H Construction Company Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $273,067.50 for Schaefer Road Sidewalk, project number B2602. Authorize the corresponding budget transactions and further authorize the chairwoman to execute the necessary documents.
Commissioner Sheffield.
So moved.
Second.
Are there any comments or questions? Call the question. The motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Our next item is a consolidated item recommending the Board of Commissioners approve final change orders to contracts for various completed projects in the 2016 SPLOST Transportation Improvements Program Fund, 2022 SPLOST Transportation Improvements Program Fund, Public Facility Projects Fund, Transit Grant Fund, and Water System Fund, a total savings to the projects in the amount of $824,109.54. Authorize the corresponding budget and accounting transactions and further authorize the chairwoman to execute the necessary documents.
So moved.
Second.
Are there any comments or questions?
Yay for savings.
Call the question. The motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. And our final item this evening is to recommend the Board of Commissioners determine that circumstances are such that it is necessary to proceed with condemnation proceedings by declaration of taking under OCGA Section 32-3-4. Authorize the commencement of condemnation proceedings on one parcel on Silver Comet Trail Connector, project number X2415. Adopt a resolution in order and form substantially similar to the attached and as approved by the County Attorney's Office, and further authorize the chairwoman to execute the necessary documents.
Commissioner Richardson.
So moved. Second.
Are there any comments or questions? The motion, call the question. Step ahead. The motion moves forward 4-1 with Commissioner Burrow in opposition.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, and we're now at our Public Services tab, and we'll begin with Parks.
Good evening, Chairwoman, Commissioners, Madam County Manager. We have one item for consideration this evening. Our first item is for the Board of Commissioners to approve a purchase agreement with Southeastern Surfaces and Equipment to provide construction services for the replacement of the synthetic gym floor at Fullers Park Recreation Center under the 2022 Park Splash program. The existing floor has been worn by consistent heavy use over the years and has outlived its useful service life. We ask the BOC approve a purchase agreement with Southeastern Surfaces and Equipment in an amount not to exceed $98,980 for the replacement of the synthetic gym floor at Fullers Park Rec Center under the 2022 Parks Plus program. Authorize the corresponding budget transactions and further authorize the chairwoman to execute the necessary documents.
Commissioner Richardson.
So moved.
Second.
Are there any comments or questions?
Just yay for Fullers.
Okay, we'll call the question. The motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
We are now at our support services tab. Yes, you may approach, Director.
Good evening. Thank you.
Good evening.
Thank you for appointing me as Director of Property Management. Property Management has 2 items this evening. Property Management would like to request the Board of Commissioners approve a contract with Piper O'Brien Hare Architects in the amount not to exceed $102,000 for full architectural and engineering services related to the renovation of the first floor and the build-out of the second floor of the Behavioral Health Crisis Center located at 1758 County Services Parkway. Authorize the corresponding budget transactions and further authorize the chairwoman to execute the necessary documents.
Commissioner Gambrill.
So moved.
Second.
Are there any comments or questions?
Just,
Go
I
ahead.
know, I have a streak right now. Let the record show, since you didn't say it, not interim anymore, so for the clerk's note, thank you.
All right, we'll call the question. The motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. And our second item, Property Management would like to request the Board of Commissioners approve a contract with CPL Architecture in the amount not to exceed $91,550 for full architectural and engineering services related to the renovation of the Community Development Suite located at 1150 Potter Springs Street. Authorize the corresponding budget transactions and further authorize the chairwoman to execute the necessary documents.
Commissioner Richardson, Commissioner Gambrill in District 1.
So moved.
Second.
Are there any comments or question? I'll call the question. The motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. I believe that now takes us to our second public comment.
There's no one signed up for the second portion.
Thank you, Bill. And that will now take us to our Commissioner's public address. We'll begin with Commissioner Gambrill once her slides appear on the screen.
And congratulations to the class of 2024. Thank you.
That was wonderful.
Very nice.
All right, from the office, yes. Donate your pop tabs to support local families. The Ronald McDonald House helps families with children experiencing illnesses or injuries during their time of need. The Pop Tabs collection program helps raise funds to house families while their children are in the hospital. You can donate the Pop Tabs from soda cans, food cans, and other aluminum containers, bring them to Sewell Mill Library, and place them in the little Ronald McDonald House. If you have any questions, please reach out to our very own Donna Court at senior_community@d2cobb.com. From the community, okay, I probably won't get this right, but hola, tudo bem? That means hello, how are you in Portuguese. The Marietta Brazilian Festival will be held from June 7th through the 8th at Vine Church, 1296 Gresham Road, Marietta. Immerse yourself in the vibrant culture and taste authentic Brazilian cuisine. It is wonderful. Don't miss out on this unforgettable experience, and you can visit MariettaBrazilianFestival.com for more information. And last chance to submit your idea. Your creativity and input are highly valued as we search for the perfect name for your newest addition to the Cobb Library family. Let your imagination run wild, then fill out the form with your best suggestions. The deadline to submit a name is tomorrow, May 29th. Did you know that Cobb Library already has a wonderful mascot, Dewey, our calico cat, named after the Dewey Decimal System? Please visit bit.ly/CCPL new mascot to submit your idea. Thank you. That concludes my commentary.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll now move on to Commissioner Burrow.
Thank you. Sunday morning, I was honored to attend Grace Life Church to participate in their Memorial Day service. Very moving and touching ceremony to celebrate our fallen heroes. And I just want to say thank you. Their theme was "We'll Leave the Light On." And it was a great program, and I'm so glad I got to go. Then on Sunday afternoon, I went to Rally Point Bar and Grill in Woodstock to celebrate World War II veteran Charlie Duncan, 105 years old. 105 years young. I know, really. He is amazing. He still lives alone. He drives, he works out, does water aerobics at Mountain View Aquatic Center 3 days a week, and he walks a quarter of a mile daily. Amazing man. And then yesterday, I was honored to be one of the speakers at the Memorial Day ceremony at the Marietta National Cemetery in honor of those and remembrance of those who paid the ultimate sacrifice. It was a great program, lots of flags and lots of cadets and servicemen, and it was just a great honor to be there. So may we never forget. And that's all, and less than 3 minutes.
Good job, Commissioner. We'll now move on to Commissioner Sheffield.
Okay, thank you, Chair. District 4 News and Updates. I was privileged to serve as a guest speaker at the May 16th groundbreaking for the Tunnels to Towers redevelopment project in Mableton. In November 2023, the Board of Commissioners unanimously approved a rezoning application for the project to support our veterans. This initiative aims to stabilize and support the brave men and women who have served our country and are at risk of becoming homeless. The project will transform 103-room hotel in Mableton into 95-unit apartments for qualified veterans, offering permanent housing, essential support services while fostering a sense of community. A special thanks to Home Depot for generously donating $500,000 towards the project, which will significantly benefit the most vulnerable members of our community who have sacrificed so much for us. School's out and it's time to step up your summer with Precincts 2 Step Camp. Join Officer Mitchell for an exciting and dynamic camp where you'll learn cool step routines, make new friends, and stay active. This camp is open to students in grades 6 through 12. Bring your water bottle, tennis shoes, and all of the energy you've got. Register for free by scanning the QR code on your screen. For more details, email Officer Mitchell at Maya, MIAJA.Mitchell@cobbcounty.org. Don't miss out on this fantastic opportunity to have fun and get fit this summer. Head to the Mabel House for an unforgettable evening of jazz with Brian Culbertson featuring Eric Darius this Friday, May 31st. Gates open at 7 p.m. and the show starts at 8 p.m. Bring your own food, drinks, and coolers to enjoy a relaxed picnic-style experience. Free parking is available, making it easy for you to join in on the fun. Get your tickets today at Ticketmaster.com. The Mabel House is located at 5239 Floyd Road in Mableton. Start your weekend with an incredible night of music and entertainment. That concludes my comments.
Thank you, Commissioner, and thank all of you for tuning in today. We hope all of you have a wonderful rest of your week. Thanks and have a good evening.